Hey guys, I have no clue how to start this video, to be honest with you guys. It's a very intense subject that we're going to be diving into today. And, I got a lot of DMs last night asking for my opinions on this subject. And, I try to keep away from politics on this channel, but this subject, in my personal opinion, isn't really political at all. I know it surrounds itself around politics, and a lot of times in America, we like to tie everything to politics. But I see this issue being a humanity issue as a whole. And I kind of decided this morning, I feel like I actually need to talk about this and use my platform in this way. So apologies in advance for not having the normal type of content. Also, this is not scripted at all. So if I mess up, don't know. I mean, this is still really fresh. And so I'm just going to be talking straight off the top of my dome. For those of you guys that don't know, you guys see it in the title, but for anyone who doesn't know, Charlie Kirk here just passed. He was unalived at a public event yesterday, and middle of the day too. And I remember getting the notification while I was at work at the nail salon, and someone sent me the video, and I watched it. I shouldn't have. So insane to see. I'm having goosebumps thinking about it right now. I just couldn't believe. I watched an angle of it that was just so terrifying. And I knew at that moment that I saw what had happened, that Charlie had passed. The location. Yeah, I'm not going to get into the details. I do not recommend you guys seek out that video. It is not a fun one. Anyways, for those of you guys that don't know, Charlie Kirk is an American right-wing political activist, author, and personal media personality. He co-founded the conservative organization Turning Point USA, and he's a huge advocate for Trump and the whole right-wing party, right? And to be honest with you guys, my history with Charlie Kirk is I would occasionally see his clips on YouTube shorts, occasionally Instagram reels too. And most of the time it was him debating on these college campuses, different things, and he was very far right-wing, right? But all the discussion was debates. It all could be anywhere from a very civil discussion to a very intense screaming match, and he'll upload it because, those gets a lot of views. And I would only watch it because I thought it was silly how he would post some of the most insane takes because he knew that look made him look good, and he was very rage baity as well. I didn't agree with almost everything he said. I'm gonna say I'm sure there was something that I've watched of his where I was like, okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But there was a lot of things where I would debate myself. But that doesn't matter. The matter of the fact is he's just a guy who is debating college kids. I don't think anyone who does that deserves to be unalived. I don't care who you are. That is the death of freedom of speech. And that's insane to me because even me, I give you guys a pure example. I am afraid to talk about politics on my channel. I am, because it's scary. I know how divisive we are in America. And if I say one thing or the other and it doesn't correlate with someone, now me and my family are in danger. I know it's insane to think about that we live in a society that we're so against the other sides that they can fear their lives for not having the same view as you. It's so baffling that we as Americans have gotten to this point. And it honestly pisses me off because I want to talk about whatever and I view, And if I'm being honest with you guys, I'm not on either side. I'm very moderate, as a whole. I lean certain ways with certain topics for sure, but I just don't understand. And then he got, pewed to the neck, and it happened in Utah, and it was at a college campus. And the saddest thing is this is a human being life that was taken away. First off, he's young. He's my age. He's barely any older than me. I can't even imagine. And his kids were there, and his wife. Do you guys understand how messed up that is? And I'm gonna go on a rant here, man. The next thing that this triggered is my thoughts on how America has been so desensitized. When I watched the video of him being, assassinated, essentially, I just couldn't believe it. I felt anxiety. I felt so many different emotions, but yet I go online, right? And I know that that's not the best thing to do, but I'm on Instagram and I see all these people talking about it, left, right. The right side is very much like, oh, yeah, RIP and all this stuff, but then also like using, some of them, not all, some people are using it as like a political pawn to continue talking about the politics. And I'm like, dude, this is a freaking human being life that just got taken away, and we're still talking about politics. And then the left side, and I'm talking the extreme left, and I was baffled, guys. I have a few people that I am following that I know in real life that posted some disgusting stuff. I'm talking like, oh, that's what he gets. This is karma, blah, 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 because of this is the type of stuff he was spewing. And then would post like his talking points of the stuff that he would. But my whole thing is, those were talking points. I don't care if you are a person talking to me and everything you say is nothing I believe in. Because at the end of the day, you're just talking about your opinions. Why should anyone be silent? That's the death of America. Like, do the left and right, both sides, not realize that what is going on with this division is what these politicians or these top, that's what they want, bro, because there's no actual progression when we aren't pushing on the same team. Ever. We're at a standstill. We're always going to be at a standstill because it's always us against them against us. There's no civil course where someone in the middle is like, oh, hey, how about this that can benefit both sides? No, it's either, I don't even know. I'm just so angry that I saw those stories of people genuinely dismissing the fact that this dude really just got pew-pewed in and it was all over social media too. It was so easy to find. That pissed me off as well. What the how have we gotten to a point in America where everybody's just so desensitized that the moment that it happened, I went online and I was able to watch the video like that. Like, that should not be a thing. I don't know if it was, I don't know why and how we've gotten here, whether it's the video games. I mean, I used to play Call of Duty, so I can't even argue that part. I can't, but I mean, maybe it's just so much things happens at so many times that we just get so desensitized. And it frustrates me because I have a niece who's like 10, 11, and she's going to go online and see stuff like this. And then she's going to question this. She's 11. You can't, you don't have to be, or 10, sorry. I'm such a bad uncle. 10 turning 11. But you can't, I don't know. And then people are stressed out about oh, how can I bring a kid into this? I get it now. I get it. But yeah, the desensitization of America is something that I'm seeing is just so crazy. I'm going to insert this clip here from Sean Strickland, a UFC fighter, and he explains it really well too. I didn't feel the same way as Sean. However, I can see a lot of Americans feeling this way.
I'm on Twitter, and somebody says, hey, did you hear that Charlie Kirk got shot? And my gut reaction was like, no, I fucking didn't, but I'm excited. I felt this little dopamine spike in me where I'm like, dude, I want to see the video. And then I seen the video real bad, but I still kind of excited from it. I could feel like my muscles tensing. And then I start thinking, man, well, what's going to come from this? Was a shooter black? Was it a liberal? Am I going to get more fun? Am I going to get more violence? Let's need some excitement. And then you start thinking, man, how the fuck did I become such a sociopath? How am I so disattached from human beings? When people walk down the street, I don't even see people. I just see potential threats and problems. Think about, this is the last news cycle. We watched a girl get stabbed, murdered on a subway. We're watching little kids get pulled out of buildings because maybe somebody launched a rocket off them. We are so desensitized and we're such sociopaths.
I want to hop back into this whole division thing. Guys, we're not going to get anywhere as a society or as a country if we constantly are being tribal and against each other. Seriously, like, how do you have half the nation thinking about issues that just perpetuates their own side and not looking at where other people are coming from? Like, there's no emotional, there's no like sympathy and like actually trying to get something solved. I remember back in history, a lot of times the country was pushed together during war times, right? I'm not saying we need a war. I'm not saying that. I'm just using that as an example because during that time, everybody had a common goal of it. And I don't know what we need right now, but I feel like we need love, dude. We just genuinely need people who can educate themselves. And then also we need love. Like, we need genuine trying to understand, be curious. Like Ted Lasso said, just genuinely be curious. When someone says something that you don't believe in, maybe ask yourself, why is it that they think that way? Instead of how could they think that way? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, try to understand, like, almost every subject. And I'm going to say there's a few topics out there. I'm not going to elaborate too much on it, but that I personally believe that are pretty like bipartisan, but there are certain things that are just like, I can see if you're a left-leaning person saying, oh, this is the reason. Okay, I completely understand that. If you're a right-leaning person and you say, this is your debate, I also understand that. I mean, the whole like pew pew, like, you know, this stuff debate is also one of those that I see both sides. I don't have a firm belief in either. I'm terrified of them for this reason, dude. You could literally end someone's life. I shot one once, just like at a gun range, and I did not have the same feeling that a lot of people feel. I was scared. I was trembling. I was like, oh my God, this is how easy it is to like that. I feel like we're just, as a society, especially in America, I can't speak for the world, but we're losing touch with humanity and like our actual feelings. To have someone get assassinated like that and then go online and just be able to see it all right away. Two, see people using it as a political pawn to debate their politics. What? Like, dude, how dare you guys say that this is karma or stuff? Like, what? That doesn't even make sense. Like, I don't care. And then what if it was let's say it was a left guy, right? A guy who was on the left. And then the right would say the same. It's constantly a battle between each other. I know it because there's going to be some far right guy like, oh yeah, this guy, it's karma. I'm like, dude is 31 years old, was just debating on college campuses and got pew-pewed. Like, what are we talking about? This brings me to a topic that Charlie was talking about recently, right before his death, the Charlotte stabbing, which is a hot topic. And guys, I go to Charlotte often. I'm actually going to be in Charlotte in literally 3 hours from now. Oh, God, my voice is shaking. I'm also a little sick, but yeah. So for those of you guys that don't know, with the Charlotte incident, a Ukrainian woman, got, I don't know if I can say this on YouTube, but you know, injected with a knife many times by a guy who we later found out was let go from prison like numerous times, which is also a whole another thing. And then there was 3 people in the back, and this is all in the Charlotte tram, I think, which is like the little like it's like this train that runs this like wonder. I've never been on it. I've always seen it, and you know what's crazy? I used to think like, oh, it'd be fun to go on it. Not anymore. But yeah, there was 3 people in the back, and they didn't do anything, and they just essentially watched this poor lady cry and ask for help, probably, and pass. And yeah, that was I didn't watch all the video of that. I only watched I watched the video, just not the actual action happening. Unlike the Charlie one, I wish I didn't see that. That was traumatizing. But yeah, with the Charlotte one, it became a race thing, and people always, you know, and I hate that. Why is it always us against them, guys? Whether it's fucking left, right, whether it's race, black, white, why can't we all be on one team? We're all fucking humans. We are genuine humans. We are inherently on one team. And it's almost like, I know this is like really stupid for me to bring up right now, but it's almost like we need something like an alien attack for us to all be like, oh, now we're on a team, you know? And I know that's wild. I'm just like spewing out of my mind right now. I'm also on low sleep. I have no clue what's going on. But yeah, so with the Charlotte thing, I wanted to say, like, we see stuff like that and we always attach race, and it's just so stupid to me. The poor lady just, and you know, it's hard to say what you would do in that situation because you're scared that this guy is gonna end you next, you know? But I would like to believe that I wouldn't at least try. I would regret that for the rest of my life. But then also what I'm more worried about is that no one tried to help after the fact that she got, you know, like, that's crazy. And then another thing that bothers me, and again, I want to tell you guys, I want to reiterate this before I say this piece. I am not on the left or right. I am not on the right. I am not on the left. I lean certain ways with certain topics, but I am in the middle. But the mayor of Charlotte, what's her name? V. Lyles, or V, yeah. But she said the dumbest thing. I mean, that's mean. I'm not going to say dumbest, but the most trying to be politically safe play and just, no, actually, I am going to say it was dumb as hell. She said that we should have sympathy for the guy who did it, bro. Sympathy? Bro, he got out of prison like 10, 17 times. And he just unalived a girl, and you're going to talk about sympathy for him? What are you talking about? I'm not going to sit here and say, like, oh, this guy needs to be in the ground or anything like crazy, but, like, how, why, what? Why is this a race thing, dude? I'm tired of this. I am so tired. And you know what's crazy? I'm gonna leave it on these few last notes here. When you go to Europe as an American, which I went to 2 years ago, you would meet people, you would tell them, oh, you're American. They're like, oh, cool. Guns, right? Yeah, cool. And then they're like, oh, you guys have like a lot of shootings and stuff. And I'm like, that's how they know us. Do you guys realize that when we go to other countries, they know us from Trump, which, because he's such a polarizing figure, you know, the pew-pewing stuff because we're one of the only countries that just allows it, and it's so prevalent. Like, it's everywhere, the topic and people with their arsenals and stuff. And then, because of that, the shootings too. And then, like, yeah, man, it's crazy. I feel so bad for Charlie Kirk and his family. And I feel bad for Ukrainian family. I feel bad for everyone who is human beings that are going through a society that is, one, not only fearing their lives for what they say, or just simply existing. Like, that girl was just sitting in the tram, bro. Like, what? So all this stuff, right? And then on top of that, I'm pissed off at just how the world is reacting towards this. And just in these last 24 hours, it's really annoying. I almost wanted to shut off Instagram, because how did we get here, guys? How did we take away the love? Like, genuinely. And I know there's always people that's always been combative, always been like this and that. But I feel like the 28 years that I've lived on this earth, it's never been this bad. I mean, I don't know if it's the administration and all of it. I don't know if it's the social climate. I think it has to do with everything. Like the amount of social media we use, the brain rot, all of it pieces together. Because how can you see people being taken away from our earth and then use it as a political point instead of just honestly, genuinely saying this is messed up, period. Don't matter what team, don't matter. I'm going to leave this video on a few quotes that I just genuinely believe that people need to hear more right now. Two of which is from anime, and then one is from like a philosopher. So first off, Vinland Saga, you have no enemies. No one has enemies. That's there's no reason to harm anyone in the world. That is the quote from Thor's, the father in it. And I genuinely believe if you just sit down as a human being and just think for a second, you don't have enemies. You create that in your mind. Like, I'm sure I have a lot of people that do not like me. Actually, I know that for a fact, like the incels that like literally try to dox me, right? But I don't like hate them at all. I understand like they just young, probably didn't like what I said and was thinking to do something silly, you know? So like in your mind you create these enemies, and the moment you not I'm not saying like forgive, but like the moment you just let go of this notion that people are out here to get you, there is no reason to harm anyone in this world, period. This next one's by Roy Mustang from Full Metal Alchemist. I think this is a brilliant quote. Nothing's perfect. The world's not perfect, but it's there for us, trying the best it can. That's what makes it so damn beautiful. Look, so like, look, our world isn't perfect. We're not perfect. No one's perfect. But the best that we can do is try. And so just try, guys. Like, try to be sympathetic towards one another. Try to love each other, guys, because we're all on this earth, and life is precious. Life is short. And seeing something like that, like, dude is 31. I'm gonna be 31 in a couple years. He had 2 kids, bro. Like, come on. How can you sit there and just spew stuff? Like, I just don't understand. All right, very last thing I'm gonna leave it on, and yeah, I'm sorry if you guys didn't want to hear all this. This is literally just, I just can't believe we're here in this, like at this point, you know. And I hope that this is a big change. I don't know if it will be the rock bottom that America needs, but I hope at some point people start to realize, like, especially the young adults in the world, like my age, Gen Z, even millennials, like we start realizing that like the moment we stop hating each other, we can actually get stuff done, because division is the death of progress, you know? That's a quote from me. But anyways, I'm gonna leave it on this very last note, and it's about the theory of stupidity by Dietrich Bonhoeffer. If you guys don't know, I definitely butchered his name, but if you guys don't know, I highly, highly recommend you guys study this, because I feel like it's a big issue that we're going on with today. But I'm just gonna read this one part of it. So Bonhoeffer identifies stupidity as the voluntary abandonment of independent thought, a moral abdication that occurs when individuals surrenders their critical faculties, to external authorities. So essentially the theory of stupidity kind of talks about how a lot of human beings, I'm not saying people are stupid, but a lot of human beings take away their autonomy to actually independently think, just to go with the grain instead of because they're too afraid to go against the grain. And look, guys, at the end of the day, I want everyone to just sit there, really think about what you deem is important, and then go from there. I don't know. Just, yeah, I'm done. Love you guys. I really do care about each and every one of you guys. I don't care if you don't like me. I don't care if whatever. I love you guys, and I hope that everyone has an amazing day, life with your family, everything, you know? Yeah, just love, keep being you, and love thy neighbor. All right, I'll catch you guys in the next one. And to Charlie Kirk's family, you know, all my condolences, and I hope he rests in peace. Bye, guys.